And we are back with Cleve Loveland and the Loner Ranger, giving you all of your mortgage and real estate news every weekend here on WDBO. But the rest of the days of the week, we are out doing mortgages, selling houses, helping people manage their rental properties. And Bruce, you wanted to talk about, you mentioned before the break, construction perm.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Right now, we have a slight dilemma on having enough properties to purchase, right? So clients are out there and they're competing against multiple offers. And, we're still seeing clients win, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we're selling properties every day and I'm doing mortgages on purchases every day. But for those of you that don't want to compete, or you want what if you want a property that you have a little bit of room to stretch out in?
Yep.
Maybe like one of your properties that you have for some acreage.
Yep.
Some people may want to build their own home. So I teach a class on how you can utilize the best construction to perm program in the mortgage industry, bar none. Conventional, FHA, and VA financing. I will walk you through the process. And if you're a real estate agent, if you're a builder, or if you're somebody that owns property, if you're one of those who may want to buy a piece of land and build your own home, this class is perfect for you.
Okay, now what about somebody, like sometimes people can't find what they want and they're looking at $600,000 or $700,000. What if they bought something, and this doesn't have to be a big piece of land, but what if they bought something for $300,000 or $400,000 and wanted to add on a bunch, not just a little renovation? They wanted to add on, like they wanted to tear the house down mostly and tear the roof off and add a second floor.
Well,
is that possible?
Absolutely. Now we have a different program for renovation versus ground up construction. It's an entirely different program. But I'm teaching a class on the 21st, which I believe is Tuesday the 21st. At 6 p.m. It's a Zoom class. Now, you must register in advance at WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com. But if you are interested in understanding the process of a construction perm loan, because it's different than buying a home and closing.
Yeah, no, you're the bank. You're kind of working with the bank hand in hand.
There's draws that have to be handled. There's a process. There's rules that go into it. But here's the thing. I believe, and I haven't seen a better program yet. Not one on a construction program. So if you're interested in building on your own lot or finding a lot and building your own home on it, you want to get into my construction perm class as soon as possible. That would be at 6 p.m. on the 21st of September. You must register in advance at WeBringYouHome.com. I only have 100 seats available, and I think at this point, Jeanette's got most of those already covered, but I know there's still a few seats left in it, and it is Zoom seats. They're cyber seats, I think.
Yeah. I'm not sure what they call it, but there's a limit. So
there's a limit. You got 100. I got 100 people,
and I can help you hunt for that piece of land.
Absolutely.
And now, talking about the renovation product, so somebody finds a house that they want to do, like it needs a bunch of work. I was in one yesterday in College Park, right down the street from here.
Yep.
And it's a redo. It's $150,000 just to redo the house now, but it's got plenty of room if someone wanted to add on another wing.
I've got all the programs for
Is there a limit on that, like $100,000, $200,000 for renovations? Or?
No. You have to stay within conforming limits, so the end loan couldn't exceed.
Be over 540.
Couldn't be over 543.
Okay.
548. Yep.
Awesome. Good to know.
Yeah. So you can do that. So if you want to buy, how much is the house that you?
The house will probably be $375,
so you
$399.
can put $200 into it.
Yep. And you can do just about that with your down payment and everything. Yeah, so it could be done.
Put about $200 into it.
What do you need? You just need to have the plans and the bid from the architects?
Well,
the bid from the builder?
If you're going to do a full-on reno, you're going to have a contractor, a contract with the contractor, your complete description of materials. Because when you're doing a reno loan like that, you have two values. You have the as-is value.
And the renovated
value.
And
then you have the subject to completion value.
Yep.
Because I'm basing my loan not on the new
on the
value,
future.
On the future.
Yep.
What's it going to look like and what's it going to cost?
Well, that's what I love about you, Bruce, is like we got so many products. And didn't you kind of go to your owner at Cross Country and say, we need this product and get that construction perm going?
Absolutely.
Do you still have the VA and FHA?
I have VA. I don't know anybody else that has VA loans.
Because normally construction perms forever have been
VA loan, construction perm. I don't know anybody in the country that has that. FHA, 5% down construction perm. Don't know anybody else that has that. And then, of course, I've got conventional. Most banks want 20% down for a construction perm. I'll do them for as little as 10% down.
That's incredible.
It is absolutely incredible. And I'll walk you through all those stages. Again, register at WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com.
Got some emails here, Bruce. One of the big problems, I say problem, I know how to deal with it. I know how to handle it. I have people that come to me, and mom and dads have gone to assisted living, or sadly they may have passed, and mom and dad's house is neck deep in stuff. They were professional collectors, as we like to call them, extreme collectors, which really is another name for hoarding. So handling things like this is when we go to our man, Dave and Patty Lowe with Estate Sales Orlando, to handle stuff like that, and we can get it cleaned up. But definitely one of the biggest things to prevent you from getting top value if you need to sell a home is too much stuff.
Clutter.
And literally, and hoarding's the extreme end of it. But I can fix it. I can help you with it. I have a lot of people. I have a house that we just closed on. Actually, we close next week. And I was so proud of the owners, because I talk to a lot of people with this problem, Bruce,
Sure.
just like you see on the TV show. And it may not be as bad or as unsanitary, but it's still a lot of stuff. And they want to downsize. They're in a big house. It's 3,500 square feet, and they want to go to a little apartment or a townhome and just downsize. And I had a client last week had so much stuff, and then scrapbooking. I think scrapbooking is actually a code word for I'm a hoarder. But scrapbooking, they had collectibles, they had sports paraphernalia. And this was the husband and the wife. They both had their share of stuff.
Well, you got to remember they're accumulating,
and
a
they've
lot
been
of
there
stuff.
for 30 years.
I'd hate to have to clean my house out.
They had
today.
Dave and Patty in.
Yep.
Sold everything.
Really?
Their brand. I came back, and like most of these people, I'll talk to them and I tell them what they need to do. I never hear from them again. I'll touch base trying to get with them, and they just can't let go of their stuff. So it's left to the family. These people, I went back to see them a month later. They had talked to Dave and Patty. The house was empty, cleaned up, fresh carpet being installed,
fantastic.
Brand new fifth wheel sitting outside.
Just by cleaning the house out will get you more value.
It is.
I mean, you didn't even have to do anything.
I've got
You
a
just
50-point
clean it out.
checklist that if people do this, it's like guaranteed you'll get 2% more for the home. You don't have to pay a professional stager. I have that question all the time. Do I need to pay to rent pretty furniture to put in my home? No. Most stagers are unemployed realtors. They could not sell a house to save their lives, so they decided to rent furniture until your house needs that. And what's funny is right now, there's not a lot of staging going on because houses are selling so quick.
No,
you could literally, it could almost be a hoarder's house and still sell. Won't go for as much. But when the market slows down, because there's even people that go around, Bruce, saying, oh, wait, we'll put a home tender in your house.
Right.
So instead of renting the home and getting realistic about what the price should be to get it sold or what needs to be done, and they don't pay you rent. They pay the home tending company rent.
Right.
And I haven't seen them in forever. That was the 90s. And when things fell apart.
Don't make it complicated. Just call Cleve at 407-352-8118. Get your home on the market. Get top dollar for it. Or if you're looking to buy a home, I love your buyer's agents. I love working with Annette. I love working with Mike. Both of them are great negotiators, and they fight for your clients. I've got Nanette's out looking at several properties for clients right now that we're working with. And, it's interesting because I hear in this market from listing agents that if you're asking the seller to pay closing costs for the buyer, they think that you're from outer space. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't do that. I had a client that one of Cleve's agents, it's a mutual client of both Cleve and I, negotiated $10,000 in closing costs. Listing agent calls me and literally says to me, I don't think you know what's going on in the market right now, Bruce. I'm like, hey, school me on it. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe I'm I don't know. So you don't know that sellers just don't pay closing costs? So I have a contract on my desk 3 days later with $7,000 in closing costs paid by the seller. Then the home inspection comes in, and Nanette negotiates another $1,500 in closing costs, $8,500.
Well, here's the thing to look at. This is what's important about having a good buyer's agent. That house had been on the market for 60 days.
Right.
In this market, started out $70,000 higher. It had 2 reductions and been sitting at this same price that we made the offer on. It'd been sitting at that price for 30 days. So obviously it's a little high. Now they also had a tenant that was an extreme collector, had a lot of stuff in there. And so, but you got to know the market. But when I have an offer come in with closing costs, I'm fine with that. I'm just looking at my net to the seller.
Yeah.
If it's $430 with $8,000 in costs, that's $420. Actually, it's about $421 to my seller. So you got to do that math there. You got to know about the costs and things like that. So
absolutely.
But to have a good, you need a good buyer's agent helping you. Call me at 407-352-8118. And if you're a realtor out there on a team, not getting enough leads, not making the money you want to make, call me. You want to work with a real estate team that will show you how to have a long-standing career in real estate, call me, 407-352-8118.
That's a great idea. Matter of fact, we're always hiring for talent around here, too. I've just recently added to my team. And
is that why I couldn't find a parking space outside?
You can't find it. I'm telling you, I don't know what I'm going to do about parking. I think I'm going to have to.
You need those things like in New York, the racks that lift the cars up.
Have people drone themselves into my office now. I'm running out of space here. But you know what? Here's the thing. And some of my folks are going to work from home. Some aren't. But here's the thing that I do different than your Rocket and your other mortgage companies. I still am very old-fashioned. I don't know about you, but I think the service level in so many industries has gone just to heck in a handbasket.
Oh, yeah.
It's horrible. Like, I've got a client right now fighting with his investment firm that's a big investment firm. It starts with an F and ends in ility, right? So, and they can't get the company to give him the statements that we need to close the loan. They can't get the bank statements. They won't give it to him. I'm like, what happened to service? What happened to, thank you for giving us the opportunity to work with you, Mr. Woodburn. We appreciate you having investments in our company. Whatever you need, we'll take care of it. So my company is committed to making sure you have great service. You want to come in and meet with me in person? I still have personal appointments. I know that sounds crazy. Do you want, I'm a company that still has a receptionist. You know what a receptionist is?
I got one of those.
You have a receptionist?
I got one of those. Yep, I do.
Right? So people now, the companies, they don't even have receptionists. You just have to hit a button and try to find. I can't even order my pharmaceuticals without going through 15 different prompts now.
No, it is bad.
My wife and I are trying to take a trip to Hawaii, and I've got to do all this registration with all these prompts. I'm like, I'm 62 years old. I don't like prompts. I like people going, Mr. Woodburn, how can I help you?
How can I help you?
How can I help you today, Mr. Woodburn? So if you want a mortgage and you want somebody to help you with that, and guess what? You don't pay extra for great service with me.
Yeah.
You still get a great mortgage at a great interest rate, and you don't pay extra for great service. You hit the lotto.
How much?
Call me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. Or apply online at webringyouhome.com. We got 2.5 minutes.
Okay, I want to ask you real quick about something. This is going on with one of our clients together. He's going to have a large amount of cash coming to him. He's buying a house 5% down. Okay. And can he, when he gets that large amount of cash, let's say it's maybe a year from now.
After he already closes
After he already closed on the loan.
house.
I know he can recast.
Yep.
Can you put enough down to where you'll lose PMI?
Yes.
They'll take the PMI away.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
You can do that.
Awesome. He's texting me right now.
Yeah.
So, all right, he's just asking me that question.
You can do that.
So that's a good thing to know. So recasting is not, tell people what that is just so.
Well, recasting is, but you know that if you put a substantial amount of money down on a mortgage, all it's going to do is pay off early. But some people want to put a substantial amount of money down and have the payment reflected of the new loan amount. That's called a recast. I offer that on all my programs. The only one that you can't do it on is VA. I can do it on just about anything else. VA will not allow a recast. But my conventional and FHA mortgages, we can do recasts on most all financing. So you call me at 407-250-9144, and I'll help you with that. And it really does make a difference because you don't want to be, and here's where it's important. Your clients don't want to be a contingency offer for the house they're buying because they won't get the offer, right?
Yeah.
In other words, if they make an offer on a listing and they say, well, it's contingent upon me selling the one I have, then the seller's going to go, next, I'll find somebody that doesn't have a contingency.
Yep.
So we avoid the contingency and then recast the mortgage after it's closed.
Yep.
407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com or Cleve Loveland at 407-352-8118, 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of Cleve Loveland and the Loan Arranger Radio Show.